to the best damn 90 minutes you're spending this week. So you see I have, you'll see before me, you see a tall Englishman. You're legal, right? Legal. Okay. So this gavel has a special history. Alan Burnham said I could borrow it. He made this in wood shop in high school. Eighth grade. I'm sorry. He's such an overachiever. Eighth grade, he had the skills. Pretty good. So I think it sounds pretty good. Thank you, Alan. All right, let's do the pledge. Let's see. Sonia, can you lead us? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sonia. You ready, fellas?
Where is it? So I can see some words. Oh, okay. Okay, well, we know that Jeff is here to talk about the city efforts at Carnegie Park, which we're all appreciative of. Jeff's my old pal. And we've got working on a coal mine for all those hard workers out there in the parks and in the city. Okay, here we go. Well, I've been working in a coal mine, going down, 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 working in a coal mine. Whoop, about to sit down, working in a coal mine, going down, 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 working in a coal mine. Whoop, about to sit down. 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm already gone. Lord, I'm so tired. How long can this go on? 'Cause I'm working in a coal mine, going down, 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 working in a coal mine. Whoop, about to sit down, working in a coal mine, going down, down, working in a coal mine. Whoop, about to sit down. 'Cause I make a little money, hauling coal by the ton. When Saturday rolls around, I'm too tired for having fun. 'Cause I'm working in a coal mine, going down, 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 working in a coal mine. Whoop, about to sit down, working in a coal mine, going down, 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 working in a coal mine. Whoop, about to sit down. Thank you.
Man, that was great. That was good job. Really good. Okay, front line, let's give some acknowledgments. Some folks that work really hard for us. A Spur reporter, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Today is Joel Swanson. Thank you, Joel. The Spur publisher, of course, is Kathy Coyle. Media photographer today is Mark Roberts. AV is Paul McCandless. And our Zoom host and chat monitor is Pat Coyle. Thank you, all of you, for working so hard for us. Okay, do we have any visiting Rotarians? Anybody? All right, do we have any guests we'd like to introduce? Bob?
Splen and everyone else, I'd like to introduce Fred Catrozo. He is checking out Rotary, thinks it might be something that fits into his perspective here, and he's a business development consultant.
Welcome, Fred. Welcome, Fred. So, Fred, regardless of how you get your impressions you get of today, my performance, it'll get better next year. So just take that into consideration, okay? All right. Anybody else? Debbie.
President Splend and everybody, I'm super excited to introduce my youngest daughter. This is Monica, and her youngest daughter, Belia Villanueva. They're here visiting me from Texas, so I'm happy that they're here. Thank you.
Welcome. Anybody else?
To
Great, thank you. Thanks for
Rotarians,
visiting.
we're
Oh,
going
sorry,
to
Loretta.
get a more extended introduction, but I would like to introduce Avery Maxwell, a, a Livermore High School interactor.
Welcome, Amy. All right, Paul, we have, okay, so the first announcement comes with a warning. So if we have any children, or we have anyone here who has the mental aptitude of a child, Dennis, you should probably not view the next slide. So I'm giving you call. Those of you on Zoom, please be careful. Paul. So, you know, I have friends in very high places, so high that they run a satellite. So I called in a few favors and I asked them to see if they could locate, through geolocation, our gavel. And unfortunately, this is, I'm disturbed. I'm really disturbed. The abuse. I mean, we've seen a few photos of some great times that this gavel's having, but the reality of folks, this is what's going on. That vicious animal is, you can tell yourself. I mean, gleefully enjoying our gavel. So I just want you to know what's going on, okay? So, I mean, there'll be more on this. I have found others who have knowledge, and we'll be, this is an ongoing story. We'll have more next week. Yes.
You know what? And I don't.
What do
mean
you have to say in your defense?
You know what? I don't mean to interrupt, but I just had something pop on my computer, and I think it's really important that I read this.
Please, let's.
President Splend, I've heard that Bob was not all that you were hoping for in a replacement. Understandably, the high level of sophistication that you have become accustomed to in a gavel cannot be instantaneously replicated in a replacement. But I've reached out to gavel temps, and they have assured me that they had a frank discussion with Bob. You should be expecting better performance going forward. Best regards, Gordon Gavel.
Well, so here's Bob.
Yes. Yes.
Not good.
Ow. Yeah.
I mean, poor performance.
I've just,
Very
well,
poor
you know
performance.
what? He's concerned about the performance so far with him. So.
I'm more concerned about his captors. All right. Thank you. Next.
Love it.
Another announcement, Paul? All right. So Loretta, Avery, I don't know if you want to come up here. We have a little report from Avery about Ryla, her experience, and a little video.
I think that's about right. And I don't know if you guys can see me here. Fellow Rotarians, it's my great honor to introduce Avery Maxwell. She is a Livermore High School junior, and she was our 2022 Ryla camper. Why this is such a big thing is because we haven't had a camper for a while. And not only that, but she's here today to give us some impressions. And I've heard she's put together a pretty cool video. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to her.
Hi everyone, I'm Avery. I'm an incoming junior. I just wanted to give a little introduction about myself before the video starts. I am currently involved in leadership. I hold the junior class vice president position, which is a little different because I was treasurer last year, but I'm very involved in school. I do soccer for both school and club, but not right now because of my knee. But I also do lacrosse, and that was my first year trying it out. I'm in many clubs. There's a pretty good amount. It's Students for Social Change, Link Crew, Interact. You have National Honor Society, Body Peace Club, Feminism Club. So I would say I'm pretty involved. But I made a little video to showcase all the videos and photos I had because I didn't want to do a boring slideshow. So I don't know how to start it. Okay.
That jump, don't feel the fall. Hope when the water rises, you built a wall. Hope when the crowd comes out, screaming your name. Hope if everybody runs, you choose to stay. Hope that you fall in love and it hurts so bad. The only way you can know, you give it all you have. And I hope that you don't suffer, but take the pain. Hope when the moment comes, you'll say,
Sure.
Does anybody have any questions of it? Yeah.
Entirely would there at the Ryla camp?
So I actually found out while at camp that normally they send 4 students per school, but because of COVID, it was 1 per school, which left us with about 85 students. What? Sorry.
Where was this camp?
It was in Scotts Valley at Mission Springs. It's like a venue that they hold for the camp every year.
Big hand.
Okay.
We all want to go to camp, right? Mike's not here, so another August 11th, which would be next Thursday, is the mystery golf. We're to meet 11:45. I think it's at the Starbucks by the Ace Hardware on First Street. This, I think we're full. Are we full? I think we have 20. This is great. Okay. Okay, so here's going to be the lesson. Come on up, Joel. So I told you the district governor expects something when she comes in November. We're going to learn a dance and a step, and it's going to be called the Livermore Stomp. So fair warning, I got to find a dance instructor. Joel? Come on.
On grapes.
Probably.
All right. Part of Rotary is service and service to our community. And one of the things we do, or traditionally have done, with exception of COVID, is have a back to school hot dog roast for Maryland Avenue families. And this is actually a clever ploy to try to get the families to all come to back to school night and have the parents meet the teachers and all of that. So this will be August 18th. Pay no attention to those dates going down the side of the volunteer sheet, because August 18th is the date, and the date shall be August 18th. Those who are doing shopping may go a day or two earlier, because Maryland Avenue School has a really nice walk-in fridge, and we can store perishable items like hot dogs in there. So we need several people. You can sign up for several different positions, and if we fill those up, you may be working some other position, but we have lots of things for folks to do. Also, spur reporters. Yes, on DACDB, we have a sign-up list. It's in the club files part, and we'll give you some lessons on that later on. If you want to be a spur reporter right now, call me or Gordon, and we'll make sure your name gets on the list. Audio-visual trainees. We have 3 of us right now. We might have a 4th trainee. We don't know. But since a lot of people go on vacation when they're retired, we need some backup there. So we need enough to be on a rotation for that. Lots of other things you can sign up for. So if you're interested in things like being a thought of the day or something like that, the sign-up list is on DACDB. If you want to know how to get there, give me an email and I'll make sure you know how to get there. But that sweat equity is something that makes Rotary work. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much, Joel. So you see, I don't have a script. I go off the slides. Did we have a thought of the day? Was it? Oh, it's Dennis, wasn't it? Dennis, come on. I apologize. This is going to be the highlight of the entire meeting.
Hi there. So it happened that this weekend I watched a movie. You've all seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show, about singing transvestites and all that. It was kind of fun. Well, it made me think a little bit about cults and, how bizarre they are. Don't you think they're bizarre? And what kind of batshit crazy people would join a cult? So I researched it. And I found something, which is a list. How do you know if you're in a cult? And number 1, the group is focused on a living leader to whom members seem to display excessive, jealous, unquestioning commitment. Number 2, the group is preoccupied with bringing in new members. Number 3, the group is preoccupied with raising money. Oh my. Number 4, mind-numbing techniques such as meditation and chanting are used to suppress doubt about the leader. Well, we do start the meetings with a pledge, and the songsters do make us sing along, so yeah, it could be. Number 5, the group is elitist, claiming a special exalted status for the leader. The leader is considered the Messiah and a special mission to save humanity. Oh yeah, when I think of the word Messiah, I think of Splend. The leader induces guilt feelings in members in order to control them. You mean like threatening fines? Members are expected to devote an inordinate amount of time to the group. Okay, we don't do that. Well, except the audiovisual guys, they do it. So damn, our Rotary Club is a cult. And that makes us all those batshit crazies. Back to you, exalted leader. Oh, and I think I'll join the President's Club.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Well deserved to join the President's Club. Thank you, Dennis. That was great. You could just give me that because my wife reads that to me practically every night. Kathy wanted to mention that there's a way to sign up for volunteers through DACDB, right? Should be? Will be. Great, thank you very much. Okay, I have a few more announcements. I don't know if I'm gonna get some, if you do have some, remember, recognition is not me finding people. It's really about you. Want to talk, we want to hear about you. Something your family did, something you did, something your kid did, something your grandchild, something, whatever it is. If you have something, we're not eating lunch, or at least no, we're not paying for lunch. So if you have something you want to say, look, I want to kick in my lunch money, please do. Not yet, but I have an announcement. I got to get to Mary Ann first. Think about it. Mary Ann. She needs a mic.
Well, I'm representing the Rotarian Foundation of Livermore, and we had our first meeting last month, and we decided we really were not keeping our clubs appraised of what we're doing. So we want to be transparent now and give you updates on a monthly basis. And it'll be myself or one of our board members. And I'm going to read the board members. Norm Bregman, you can stand up. Carol Garrick, Kimberly Grundle, Brian Mayhall, Lynn Sapla, Irv Stowers, Jeff Youngsma, and of course, Splend, Our Majesty. Wanted to let you know right now we're really investigating how we can get a Rotary project going, a really nice one, with in mind Marty Plone, because of the wonderful funds that he left us, like over $2 million from his estate. So currently we're investigating the Vineyard 2.0 project over on North Livermore, and that's going to be a marvelous thing for the city of Livermore. It's really going to help our homeless, our underserved. There's going to be a great kitchen by Open Heart Kitchen. It's a state-of-the-art kitchen, like $400,000. There's going to be occupational rooms, 24 housing units, apartments. And so we're now investigating how Rotary, what part of that project we can participate in. So I'll have more information as we go in. I actually have a meeting on Thursday with the city and the director of Vineyard 2.0. So that's the latest, guys.
Thank you.
All right, Gordon, do you want me to read the thing about signing up? Do you want me to read that, or was? Okay, great, thank you. I do have a message here from Kathy on that Coyle, that she went to, maybe this is something to work out. She couldn't easily find where the signups are, so maybe work on that. Maybe a button or something like that would be helpful. Okay, so got that. Now, I would like to spend a few minutes before we get to Jeff and our program introducing our board. So if we have that slide, I have one more? Oh, shoot, I'm sorry, birthdays, let's do it. I'm sorry, Jeff, you're gonna have to talk fast. Totally forgot.
So we have a lot of birthdays, but many anniversaries this month. I don't know, August must be the month to get married in. So we want to recognize birthdays. First, August 5th is TJ Gilmartin. I didn't see him here. Trish Monroe, August 8th. Norm Bregman, August 15th. Chris Ising and Chuck Hardwick were both born on the 30th. And Jennifer Tate on the 31st. So I'm gonna sing happy birthday.
Sing with me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rotarians. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, for anniversaries, 14 years is Jacob and Shara Reed. Is he even in the club anymore? Okay, we'll scratch him off. Jennifer and John Tate, 30 years. Mike and Anita Thompson have been married 31 years. Niall and Jean Runge have been married 34 years. Will Bateson, I don't know what his wife's name is, but they've been married 36 years. Lance and Athena Cavalieri, 37 years. Carolyn and Chris Siegfried, 38 years. Stu and Diane Frazier, 41 years. Stu's here, isn't he? Yeah, there he is, right there. Tim and Claudia Berry, 46 years. Congratulations. Alan and Peggy Frank have been married 54 years. Jim and Marianne Hannon have been married 62 years. Oh, I forgot. Irv and Patty Stowers were married 49 years. Congratulations. Do you want to sing a song?
You are my
Sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Congratulations.
Okay. All right, thank you. So I do want to take the opportunity to introduce our board, if I can get rid of the, okay, Sheila, you had something you want to be recognized for, is that correct?
Yes.
Sheila is our president-elect.
Yes. And this is an amazing job. I'm learning a whole lot with this new little task that I'm doing with programs, so please bear with me. But I did want to share a little something. This last Sunday, I had the honor of throwing out the first pitch at the Little League World Series, and I got it over the plate. And I didn't knock anyone out, or yes, yes, everybody survived, yes. So with that said, I would like to donate $50 to the club. And hopefully, moving forward, I'll do some more spectacular things that I've never done
cool.
before. That's my first.
Them's bragging rights. Got it over the
yes.
plate. Awesome. Thanks, Sheila. Great job. All right. And our past president, of course, is Ken Perrine. Our secretary, Joel Swanson, who has serving many, many roles. Our treasurer is Norm Bregman. And Norm has asked, please pay your dues. I've asked you, I'll ask you also. Major events, Linda Tinney. And membership is Alan Burnham. And Gad Mamula is doing two roles. He's doing International and Rotary Foundation. Gordon doing a great job as club service. Co-chair club services is Sonia. Community service is Loretta Caskey. Also doing some dual roles, vocational services and co-chair youth services is Paul McCandless. Co-chairs youth services Keith Beck. Public image is Kelly Bowers. Our sergeant at arms is Lance, and I hope by sending out the email that he would show up today. Club trainer is Kathy Coyle, and our parliamentarian, Trish Monroe. Big hand for the entire board. Okay, without further, almost on time. Make an announcement? All right, thank you very much. Let me know about anything you want to brag about. I will gladly pick on you next week.
Okay, President, were you going to announce next week's, or is that at a later date? I can do it? Okay, so I guess quickly, next week, our program is going to be about local journalism, and we have two amazing ladies that will be presenting for us next week from the Livermore Vine to give us a little look into local journalism and what that's all about. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think it is going to be via Zoom. Unfortunately, I think they're going to be busy, but I'm excited to have them. So for today, I am very honored to introduce our speaker, Jeff Schaefer. Jeff is the Assistant Public Works Director for the City of Livermore. He has been with our city for over 20 years. He oversees the maintenance for our city and the city golf course operations. Prior to joining our city, Jeff was in the golf business for 28 years, designing, building, and maintaining 4 golf courses in California, including the golf course, the course at Winty Vineyards. Jeff holds a degree in agronomy. How do you say that? Agronomy. Okay, I should have practiced. From Rutgers University. He's married with 2 beautiful children. Please help me in giving Jeff a warm welcome.
So a couple quick things. There's nothing worse than having your boss retire and now be a resident. Secondly, I was actually just recently announced that I anticipate to retire by the end of this year. But having been at this meeting and seeing retirees, I may choose a different path. Third, for Avery, if you wonder where you're going to be in 47 years, some of you have heard, I've spoken at Rotary before. I was fortunate enough to be a junior Rotarian in Michigan, where I grew up, and went to a 4-day camp for leadership. And I find myself now, this many years later, here. So I just want you to know your future will be here, because Rotary kind of sucks you in. They kind of get you. And Mary Ann, I have something special to ask you as this goes on. I really appreciate being here. It's always been a joy to come to the Rotary. And this project here, Carnegie Park, really, the start of the project really is because of the Rotary Foundation. While Carnegie Park has been something, it's really what you guys did. And so I'm here to talk a little bit about the past, what's going on at Carnegie, where we're, and then what we're doing going forward. So again, there was a master plan back in 2013. Those may remember, we went to the city council, staff did, and they developed a master plan. And then the same evening, after the council approved the master plan, then they approved the gazebo project, which I see many of you out there that were involved in that. And we, the city, so much appreciated that gazebo, and that bandstand has really been something. So the next slide. So it was developed. Here is the Carnegie site. Here is what it is. Next slide, please. We have been, what is the background? It's a historic library. The city maintains the park. LARPD does an excellent job of maintaining the building. It was built in 1911, as you can see, and then it was part of the National Registry in 2011. So everything that we, and I do say we, have been doing is to continue to enhance that National Registry, and the city is so appreciative of the Rotary. And obviously, as it says, we're there to preserve its historic character. So on the next slide, this was part of the master plan. Let me just tell you right now, I'm here to say thanks, and I'm here to ask for more money. And Mary Ann, when I heard there's 2 million, I'm upping what I'm asking for. These are some of the things that were important about the master plan. And you guys, I won't read them off, but you can see what they are. And the whole idea was to take Carnegie Park from kind of a static property that it had been for a number of years and to get it going. And again, that catalyst was the Rotary Foundation, the Rotary Clubs, and it was getting the bandstand and gazebo built. That was the catalyst that got us going. And so these are the things that we look at as we develop projects for Carnegie. So on the next slide, there are some important things that we need to remember no matter what we do. And you can see one of them is the diagonal pathway. We cannot change those paths. That's why you see in what we've done on the northwest and southwest side, that's what we've tried to do. And we'll talk a little bit about what we plan on doing for the east side. But that's an important component. Other things are like the brick, the lawn that has several slopes to it. We can't change those. The idea is to have that. The next slide. So we recently did the northwest quadrant. We called it I call it the picnic area, but basically it was done to support what the bandstand and what the Rotary did for the gazebo project. It was to have that. The picnic tables are coming soon. The Rotary Foundation was so generous in getting the walkways and many of the things done that did not cost the city any money. We also had an additional 6 local businesses that gave us items and gave us discounts. So a majority of what you see on this northwest quadrant was done with very low funding. And again, we the city appreciate it. You can see by the next slide, this is the finished product. There will be, the picnic tables have been ordered. And so there'll be picnic tables, and you can see the gazebo bandstand in the distance. And we think it really complements what is there. A special thanks to Bill Barnett. He was amazing, and you guys working with him on getting this done. So we're very, very excited about this. And we think this is going to work really well. All the picnic tables are ADA compliant. And so just showing that, we've improved the lighting. The park was very, very dark for many years, and now it's really something. And if anybody's been down there, they can see it's really become an active park in the city, and I think that's important. On the next slide, what we want to do next is we'd like to move to the east side. And so we've got the west side pretty much done. We have some landscaping up by the building. But what we'd like to do is move to the east side. And on the east side, what we call the northeast triangle, from the earlier slide, there's like a little triangle. We're looking at maybe making that an educational area, something tied to that. The Heritage Guild is very interested in doing something. And we think this would be something that they could do. And especially with QR codes today, you can really put a lot of information in a small piece of place where someone could gather that. The diagonal paths, that's one of the things that I'm here. Again, thank you for the other 2 sides. But we would like the Rotarian Foundation to consider starting in October or October through April. We were wondering if you would be open to actually doing the diagonal paths. Because the reason we say April is that's when the farmers market starts again, or April or May. So that would be something that I'd like to talk to you beyond this meeting. We think that'll really lay a foundation. And then the southeast triangle is where the flag, well, is it a flag part of a pole that was downtown, Mark? Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. So where that is, and there's some benches there, I personally would like to turn that more into a little bit of a, maybe a reflection area. All the benches are facing out. I'm thinking maybe some face in. There's some great plaques there. Maybe we do a surface. I would tell you the thing on the bricks, we could do commemorative bricks. The problem is that that's already at the Veterans Hall. I think it's the Veterans Hall. So, but we'd like to do that. But we'd like to get this in. And then what my goal in the city is to lay this foundation. And what we're really getting a push from the public is in that between those two diagonals, we are hearing strongly from the public that they would like a tot lot, meaning in 5 years and under. They would like to really have something where families could go and with their young children and do things. So these are playgrounds that don't have a swing set. I'm looking at Tim. They don't have swing sets and things like that. There's more for 5 and under. But this is something that I think still needs to be fleshed out. But by getting the pass in, that gives us the foundation for it. So this is our next projects, and this is what we're really looking for to do. And I am here saying, hey, I want to start, if we can, I'd like to start working on this. I know Dennis Gams and Steve Neff were very, have been very involved. Dennis is still involved, and we'd sure like to get the ball rolling, not wait 8 years between these things. The city currently does have a budget for it. And so, but getting the pass in would be tremendously, I think, useful for that area. I know that Councilmember Monroe, we were out there at the farmer's market and we were standing in the dirt and all of that. I think as we go forward, that's really going to help for all of it. Ruby from the Downtown Inc. is very excited about this and really can see this going. So that's that one. I'm not sure if the next one is just a Q&A. So here's a little bit showing the triangles. So this is the northeast, what we call quadrant. It's kind of that walkway that goes down the center. Anybody that recalls what it looks like with the palm tree, that has to remain also. That is historic. But we were looking to put on the left of this photo, that would be the triangle, maybe for education. Maybe it talks a little bit about Carnegie Park, why it's there, who Mr. Carnegie was, whatever that is, a diagonal. And then part of the tot lot would be on this side. And then if you go to the next slide, and this is some of the key points, is maybe try to do the diagonals, get the history going. Obviously check in with the council. We need to see if we need to bring the public with this, and the council would give us some direction, also city executive team. So that would be kind of the next thing, but would like to get the diagonal in if we could. And then the next slide is this is where the military, I call the military quadrant. It's just, and that's the triangle. And what we could do is, what would we do with that area? Maybe we bring the VA and get the veterans involved in this. Maybe this is something where Rotary takes on this project. Actually, this is maybe part of their project. What do we do to that little thing? There's a number of plaques in there that have a lot of information. I could see myself, I'd also like to see a very classic way that you could also do a QR code, because now I'm interested in more in the city. I want to go see Stockman's Park. I want to go see some other place in the city. You could queue it up and not only read about it, but you know how to get there. And I think that's the same for the Heritage Guild. Why those that many people, I can't believe how many have not been to Hageman Farm, that many people in the city have not, they don't even know it exists. And it's amazing what's happened there. So I think there's a lot to do with that, to connect to the rest of the city. And I think that me personally, I think it all ties into what a library is, which is it's offering information, it's offering education. And so I think we can do that. And then where the ivy is in the background and all of that, again, that would be an extension of the tot lot, a sitting area, something that I think would be very interactive. You could tie the tot lot. I look at Tim again. Maybe there's things that are tied to a library. So the theme has that in there, things you crawl on. I know there's bike racks that, say library. I think we may even have that at our own library, the main one. So this Carnegie Park has really, I can't tell you how active it's become. And it started all with you guys. And it started with the gazebo. It changed what is out there. We've recently added new lighting. I don't know if any of you have noticed, last fall we added lighting to the building, which we illuminate with different colors at different times. Memorial Day, Veterans Day, the holidays. The lights now, we can change them colors, and the building becomes very decorative. We just installed last week, if you were to go there now, you would see all new walkway lights around the building, because it was very dark, extremely dark. And so now we have some safety lights, I mean, they're walkway lights, but it creates safety. It says, please come and enjoy me. It's starting to do that. And like I said, the Heritage Guild is excited because, again, it's creating an atmosphere to that. I personally think that Carnegie Park is way under what it should be, and I think it should be one of the really cool things in the Livermore. And I think it connects the downtown for me. I think it goes from all the way to Stockman's Park, all the way over. We talked about First Street is now being extended down as to what's happening over there. So I really think it makes your downtown more than just one block, one street. It makes it a destination to come and say, you know what, I want to spend money here, I want to be here, and quite frankly, maybe I even want to live here because of it. So your support for all of this has been tremendous. We waited a long time, too many years, we the city, to get back to you between the gazebo and the other quadrant, but I'm trying not to do that this time. I think if we could get together and meet and take some of Mary Ann's money that she wants to use, I think we could do that. Lastly, I will say that, and here's again, that was some of the southeast quadrant. Again, some of the things, what are we trying to do with that military quadrant? The next one was it just talks about Veterans Hall, and I bring that up because it goes back to some people have said, well, let's do bricks, and you can do it. I'm nervous it would take away from the bricks that are happening over here, but that's the only reason that I bring that up. And I think the next one is just that. So again, we are so excited. We really want to move forward with this. I think it's going to be safer. When we do the walkways, we'll put in more lighting. And again, I think we'll make it more useful. And I'm happy, as long as I'm here with the city, to really try to get this planned so that we can use the city budgeted funds for this. And hopefully we can get your support.
Questions.
Are there any questions?
Let me see if there's.
Oh, no, I sat next to this man.
Hold on a
You
second.
didn't say he was going to ask a question.
Well, I could ignore him.
Okay.
Well, let's start off. Is there anyone? Oh, Paul, please ask your question. No, please ask your question. Please.
So early on in your talk, you talked about the triangles and the walkways coming in triangularly, and you said they can't be touched, and you also mentioned a few other things which cannot be touched. I didn't quite understand what you meant by cannot be touched.
So when you apply for the National Registry, there's certain things in any building, any project you have that defines it as part of the National Registry. Those diagonals are part of it. If we went out there and said, hey, let's make a cross, we could not do it. We can't change the walkway where the palm trees are. The lawn that actually has layers to it is all part of the National Registry. And that's the foundation. And that's why the master plan was developed first, so that we were following the same thing to go all along. Well, first off, there's processes that wouldn't allow that to happen, but it would take away your National Registry, and that's not what you want to do. So the other thing I will say is faux history. You don't want to, it's like many people thought the little boulders that are laying there were part of no, they were brought in the 1960s and 70s. So that's how fake history can do it. So that's again why the master plan was done, because the city wanted to make it very clear, here's the roadmap to go forward. That's a fine? Oh God, I hope mine's off.
All right. Hi, Jeff. On my walks in the morning, I often walk past the barn and the old council chambers. So for something completely different, is anything going to be done with the barn and the council chambers?
The old council chambers?
Yes.
Yes. Those, we won't get into how long those were there, because I don't want Mark to.
He means the barn. You mean the barn, right, Joel?
The barn or the old council chambers?
Both. I walked
Okay.
past the
So
old, yeah.
the old council chambers, the intent is to go away, and we're right now looking to try to sell off things like that, because the police department has been wanting to expand. They have a number of things over in the maintenance building over by the soccer fields on 3500 Robertson Park Road, and they have been wanting to expand. So that's the use of it. And the barn, currently the LARPD has the barn, and they do have a number of storage things that they are storing in there.
All right, is there any questions on Zoom? Pat, you're monitor, right?
At this point, I don't see any hands raised. We could just ask the Zoomers if there is a specific question.
Okay. Any other questions here? Just hold on, Mike. Let's get a mic to you. We're recording this.
One of our past presidents and very
Mike,
active
every one of your comments is treasured.
What's that?
Every one of your comments is treasured. We appreciate
thank you.
So don't degrade yourself. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
everything you're about to say.
Thank you, President Splend. Appreciate that. One of our past presidents and one of our very active Rotarians and a very clever and intelligent man was Don Nolte. And Don Nolte was the librarian at that Carnegie Library. And when I was a little boy, which was a long time ago, I used to live on 3rd Street, and every Saturday I would go to the library and I'd spend from about 9 to noon there reading the books in the science fiction section, which as you enter and you went around here, it was right over here. And Don was always there and he was always extremely helpful. So I'm just hoping someday we can give some kind of recognition to Don Nolte, because he was the librarian for many, many years, and he was always very good to the young people who used to go to that library.
That is a good idea. You are.
Well, Jeff, thank you very much. Carnegie Park is one of my favorite places. But you didn't mention an amount. I think I heard the amount rattling around in your head, like 5 million, something like that.
I'm sorry, what?
You were talking about like maybe asking Rotary for 5 million.
I think 2 million is what she said she had in the bank. I think it's on record. I think it's on tape.
I must have misheard, I'm sorry.
In this, I think we did the, I think the Rotarians spent well over 100,000 for the gazebo by the time you had it all engineered and all that. But the recent one, I think, was 30 or 40,000, and I think we could do the other parts for maybe slightly more than that.
What about the totem pole?
Okay, good question. Before I get to the totem pole, I also want to address the Rotarian clock. Everyone here has talked to me about the Rotarian clock.
So let me clarify. That ain't us.
Oh, that is not you?
No.
That's another.
So that's a story I will share with them later.
Okay.
But that ain't us. That was the morning club.
Oh,
and
geez,
that,
I'm sorry to cross that.
Well, no, and I don't know if they're continuing to pursue it, because the person that was going to be their president is now a member of another Rotary Club in Pleasanton. So I'm not so sure. I had my opinion of it. It was not a good idea.
And so the reason I mentioned it during this presentation is there was talk about putting it at Carnegie Park, which is something that I had proposed. And so we already did the conduit and everything so that if it was going to get put in, we would have it there. So the totem pole became very unsafe, and the city needed to remove it. It was literally falling over, and we needed to remove it for safety. It is actually at the maintenance building. It is secured. It had major infestation. We've already had it fumigated, and we have it protected and all of that. There hasn't been a decision of what's going to happen after that, but it was becoming very, very unsafe. And so we needed to move. But it is at the maintenance building. It is protected. It's secured, and there's just hasn't been a decision yet on what to do with it and where to put it and all of that.
Mm-hmm. Another question about the totem pole. When it was first put up, it took about, 2 or 3 years to realize that the bottom, few feet had been removed, and those are very sacred to our Indian brothers. There were rings around them which meant something, I don't know what. So I would personally like to see the totem pole put up, completely put up.
I think Mark is a good person, if that's okay, Mark.
Well, funny you should say, because of course the totem pole wasn't created by a Native American from this area. It was created by an artist who was related to a tribe distant, and it was created originally to celebrate the opening of a used car lot. He was a commercial artist, and he created in the style. And so one of our challenges is the used car lot chose not to buy it, and then he gave it to the city. Thanks. So we have an object which our Native American brothers and sisters find offensive because it's not of this area. It would be not appropriate. They wouldn't have carved it in this area. The Miwok told us in no uncertain terms, that's not appropriate. However, it is old. So one of our challenges is, okay, there's old things that were done that were inappropriate. What do we do with something that's old, that's no longer appropriate? It'd be like, if there were words in sentences where we don't say those things, we don't call people that, or we don't do that. What do we do with that? Do we take it away? Do we put it on display? Do we put a plaque below it? It can't go vertical anymore. It's just too unsound. Can it be presented somewhere? So the reason that we sort of are sort of walking around this one's a mess. On the one hand, it is something old. Some people are very attached to it. But it was super inappropriate by anybody who has any tie to the land here. And so you'll probably see it in some form, but it won't be where it was. There'll be something that's more appropriate and actually recalls the history that is here in that spot. There we go. Yes, maybe on the fourth triangle.
And speaking on the rings and everything, it is secure now, and the rings are still there. And because someone last year walked me through all of it, and so it's there. It is preserved. It's protected. Just I know that. And Mark, thank you. I appreciated that.
So I'm not sure which of you answer this, but my understanding is that when the bottom few feet were.
Could you start again?
My understanding that when the bottom few feet were cut off, the artist put a hex on Livermore and the sewers backed up. Is that a true statement?
Yeah, there is.
So I think I know what we're going to do with the totem pole. If you don't mind, and Mark, if this is culturally appropriate, I would like Sheila to contact my neighbor, Richard Finn, who's the city historian, and put together a program for us of all the things totem pole, so we are fully educated on what has happened. Does that sound appropriate? Okay? Can you do that, Sheila? That okay with you?
Yes.
All right.
Since I have the mic and I'm going to be retiring, I think Hagerman Farm sitting parallel to the ground with a nice presentation is a wonderful place for it. Me personally, I do not live in Livermore, so I just want to know that, though I've worked here a long time. I think it's Hagerman Farm has become such a wonderful place and so many people going. It's also behind a secured fence. I worry about it just sitting out, but somebody mentioned it, Mark mentioned it, parallel. It is so neat when you can actually get right up next to it and you can actually hear about it. You could have storyboards and things like that. So I'm just giving you my 2 cents of where I think it would be protected. And Mark used maybe you've used the word, it's part of our history. That's what it really is.
Jeff, thanks for the presentation. I wanted to thank you on Steve Neff's behalf. He provided all the structural engineering and the design for the gazebo. He now is in Florida. He was a member of this club. I own the business that he ran at the time, and he now still works through me, if you will. So anything you need going forward that needs structural engineering, I'd be happy to donate.
Thank you. Wow, look at that. I know we may be running over and I know we got some things, but I bet a lot of this is informational for you.
Jeff, no retiring. Do not retire. Don't leave us. Well, you'll come here then, right?
Yeah, well, that's right.
Oh my goodness. I just want to tell you how grateful we are for you really loving this city and greening it and coloring it with the most amazing plants. if you've just noticed the beautiful plant material and that has been going in, oh my goodness, First Street, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And we're just thrilled to be able to team with you and the garden club to do the pots on First Street. But you know, you guys had that happen. You guys picked those pots up and put them out there and make it, it just is lovely. And as my general manager said, you get it. You really understood how to make it really beautiful and did a phenomenal job. Hats off to you.
Well,
thank you.
I maybe overstated there. Livermore is an amazing volunteer city. It is amazing to me to see how much people want to give. And a lot of people just want to know what to give. They're ready to give. And the Community Service Day, Mark knows, 10 years ago, we had 300 people. The last time we had it, we had 1,200 people. And the Garden Club is amazing. And by the way, the Community Service Day is coming back. We're not going to let COVID stop us this time. We're coming forward with it in May. It's always the first Saturday in May, and this time we are not stopping for it. Yes, sir. Yes, and the barbecue, I am working, where is she? I'm working on the barbecue for the Maryland, whatever. Yeah, you guys can use the city's barbecue for that. Yeah. Oh, and I get it now, for the Community Service Day doing that. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Oh, thank you, Jeff. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Great presentation. Thank you very much, Jeff. And where are you retiring to? All right, cool. Okay, thank you very much.